Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beauty Mask Monday. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. So, we are going to. I was hoping to get my ice cream beauty box, but apparently it's still in pre shipment as of the 16th. Excuse me. Anyway, if you hear some noise in the background, it's very windy today, and I have the window open because it was a little muggy in my room today. So, we're going to be using the Spa Life Avocado Soften and Nourish Moisturizing Natural Extract Facial Mask. And this is made in Korea. And it says with collagen. And it says you are what you feed your skin. We believe when you feel good on the inside, you look good on the outside. Rich in healthy fats and vitamin E, avocado extract helps soften the look of skin while replenishing nutrients and moisture. And you can leave this on for after you wash your face, which I did. You can leave it on for 10 to 20 minutes. So, let's get this open and ouch on. I've been mushing it around in my hand, so it's really dripping. So how's everybody's Monday going? I'm filming this on Sunday because I have because to get it up and scheduled and stuff. But I will be taking Heidi to her doctor's appointment today. And it's just a checkup. We weren't able to get her blood work done, so we're going to get that done too. While we're up there, they were doing road construction, replacing the gas lines, like updating them. And they had the whole front torn up. And Heidi, when she's outdoors, she walks with the walker to steady her, like on uneven pavement. And they had placed a board thinking she was going to walk across that ditch. And that wasn't happening. She got scared and wasn't going to do it. So I called the doctor's office. He said it was fine, that after her appointment, just to run downstairs and get her blood work done. I really like these silicone masks. I got them on Amazon. Came 2 in a pack. And excuse my voice, the pollen is like kicking today. Anywho, we're going to talk about some serious stuff. Okay, so trigger warning. We are going to talk a little bit about domestic violence and the importance of trying to get help. Or if you know someone who's a victim, try to reach out and safely get them help. Alright, so I'm sure everybody has heard the Kayla Malik, I think that's how you say her name, Malik story, and her video involving her ex, Evan, called He Doesn't Love You. And it's involving domestic violence. And also James Charles is involved somehow. You know, he just inserts himself into everything. First off, I'd like to say it takes a lot of courage to come out and make a video to be seen by millions of people and admit that you're a victim/survivor of DV. That had to take a lot of courage. I'm sure it wasn't easy because, 1, it's embarrassing, and 2, when you're in that situation, you wear a mask to hide what's going on behind closed doors, not just for safety reasons, but because of the embarrassment and the stigma and the finger pointing and the lack of support, you know, and the fear of not knowing if you'll be believed, or if people that, you know, your friends or family will take the side of the abuser. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is I've been, you know, mindlessly scrolling through TikTok, and what's disturbing me is I'm seeing videos and TikToks with people saying she's lying or something isn't adding up because she's laughing and joking. You know, okay, that's your opinion. That's cool. But everyone copes with trauma in different ways. Who is anyone to judge or down a person by the way they are coping with the trauma of what happened to them? Like, who are you to say something don't add up, blah, 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 because she's laughing and making jokes? You know, I mean, who are you to say that that's not the proper way to cope? Everyone copes with trauma in different ways. They are coping in a way that's good for them. Laughing, while not the healthiest way to cope with trauma, can be a coping mechanism, especially for those who have experienced significant trauma, which usually is always the case in DV. It can be a way to diffuse the intensity of emotional pain and distract from different or difficult memories and protect the survivor from feeling the depth of their trauma. And remember, this is camera face. She's trying to tell her story in public. How you act behind closed doors and how you act out in the public is two different things. I mean, if you watch the first two videos where she comes out and admits what had happened to her, you can see it in her eyes when she's remembering the trauma and the pain and the anguish and the fear that she had. So 2 or 3 days later, when she comes out and she's laughing, you know, that's a coping mechanism. Laughter is also a way to relieve trauma-induced tension that builds up, especially if you're getting ready to tell your story, or, you know, so on and so forth. As for Evan, the abuser, he was arrested and he immediately pled guilty for domestic assault. So to me, that proves he is guilty in spite of the way she is coping with the trauma. Nobody in their right mind is going to plead guilty to domestic assault. That tells me there's significant evidence that could have resulted in more charges. So the easy way out was to plead guilty or face even more criminal charges. Because no lawyer in his right mind is going to tell you to plead guilty unless you're guilty. And just take the one charge rather than have more added on. Okay, so we're up to 9 minutes and I don't want it to be long. So I'm going to leave some info down below. If you or someone else is a victim of DV, please try and get yourself some help. Reach out if you can safely do so. Remember, this can happen to anyone and it's not your fault. And like I said, if you need help and you don't know what to do, I'm going to leave some information down below some numbers you can call, but always make sure that you're in a safe space. You know, sometimes just walking into a police station randomly can save your life. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave this mask on for another 10 minutes, but I'm not going to hold you here. So, you guys have a great Monday. Sorry for the morbid talk. Sometimes it just needs to be said. You know, for the judgy people over on TikTok and others here on YouTube who are judging her about the way she's coping, go fly a kite. Mind your own. The way you cope with something and the way someone else copes with something is a personal thing. I use humor a lot of times to cope with trauma, so I don't see how anyone can, get down off your high horse and realize the facts of the case. She came forward, she told her story, the man was arrested, the man was found guilty, and is in jail. Case closed. Regardless of how she acts afterwards, is none of anybody's business to judge. Okay, I'm done on my rant. I don't know. Things like that get to me because I have weird coping mechanisms, and humor, morbid humor, is one of the ways I cope. So, you guys have a great day. There will be a playlist down below. Please go check out the other beauty ninjas and see what they're doing for their Mask Mondays. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.